Ever since I started making electronic music, I've always loved buzzy, textured basses. So what I think defines texture is actually being able to hear the upper harmonics flutter at the rate of the root note. So here's a song I just put out called Visual. Here's the main drop synth. Okay, so let's take all the processing off and let's just look at this raw bass patch. It's already got a lot of texture. The reason for this is I do a lot of amplitude modulation. What I do is I take the output of a sine wave, being the most fundamental note of this bass, and I almost always use it to modulate some sort of volume level on whatever wavetable is creating the upper harmonics. If I were to remove this, for example, see how clean it is? Now look what happens when this sine wave starts to modulate the amplitude. And this one modulates the amplitude of this one and this one. See how those upper harmonics already start to flutter at the rate of the root harmonic? You get the... Their amplitude is actually fluctuating at the rate of the root harmonic. This is a really good technique because you can have as much upper harmonics as you want, up to the point of like just noise and screeching. But as long as you can have it relate to the root harmonic, you're going to have more buzz and texture out of it. And that's it. You can see there's actually no other processing in here. Next up is one of my favorite distortion plugins for texture, and it's Rift. I've got a bunch of videos on Rift. So at the end of this video, go check them out. But wait till the end of this video. So what Rift does is it's distortion, but it distorts in a bipolar way. It's going to distort each half of your cycle, so the positive amplitude and the negative amplitude, differently. So in this case, I've added soft wave shaping to the positive amplitude, so my speaker pushing forward, and a little bit of the harmonic setting to the lower amplitude. Again with this off. You can go crazy with this. Let's say I were to set this to like a noise setting, you could really hear it. It would add like a noise distortion, just half the cycle. So you're really hearing that sort of texture. So I highly recommend Rift for that. And then lastly, this really set it over the edge for me. And it's this non-linear filter set to biased mode by kilohertz. So let me turn this off. Now let me turn it on. Unfortunately, their manual doesn't describe exactly what this mode is, so I'm just going to have to guess. It's biased, which means it's going to be, I'm assuming, applying this coloring to one side of the cycle in favor of the other. So just kind of how I did that in Rift, this does this as well. Watch what happens when I turn down this drive. And then as I turn this up, it really added this buzzing texture. And again, I'm guessing it's driving part of the cycle differently than the other half, which is why you hear so much of that grit. Again, I could be wrong in the manual. I couldn't find exactly what the biased version is doing, but none of the other modes have this same gritty texture to it. And for this patch specifically, that was actually it. If you actually want to learn how I did everything in this session, every patch, every sound, I'm actually going to be selling this whole project file, not this rendered messy version I had to open. The full thing, I'm actually selling it. So head to the description of this video if you want to support this channel and if you want to learn. And there we go. That's how you get buzzy bass texture. I hope you learned something. I hope you go grab that project file or other sample packs down below. My name's Kermode. Bye, friends.